Nick Reiner.
Yes.
Murdered both his parents, we think, allegedly. It sounds like he's trying to access some trust money, but having a hard time.
Yeah, so he's trying to hire this wizard criminal offense attorney named Alan Jackson. The problem is Nick doesn't have any money. And Nick is trying to reach his trust fund, which is about $1.5 million. But under the California Slayer statute, you can't access that money if you killed somebody. But Nick's position is, and he's saying, I'm innocent, so I'm entitled to the money. The family's position is, what happens if you're not innocent and you're found guilty? We can't get that money back.
He's in a catch-22, right?
Yes.
He's like, I need funding to defend myself.
Yes.
I'm innocent, but I can't prove that until I defend myself. I'll pay you your retainer, whatever it is, $1 and a half.
Probably $1 million.
$1 million
To start, yeah.
Get me out of this predicament.
He's not going to get out of the predicament. What he's really paying the $1 million is to avoid a death penalty, because right now they're going to go after him and they're going to try to kill him. They actually apply for the death penalty. The new indictment has a murder lying in wait charge, which means...
Before we get into it, guys, do us a favor and just click subscribe. If it doesn't say subscribed now, that means you're one of the thousands of people who watch but are not subscribed. Help us bring you more of these episodes by clicking subscribe now. Thank you so much.
We are the only podcast that does deep dives for every legal case in America where pop culture and crime meet. So just click on that subscribe link below and join us.
Okay. Nick Reiner.
Yes.
Murdered both his parents, we think, allegedly. He's about to go on trial. What is going on with him? It sounds like he's trying to access some trust money, but having a hard time.
Yeah, so he's trying to hire this wizard criminal offense attorney named Alan Jackson. And I say he's a wizard. This guy's pound for pound the best criminal offense attorney right now in America. Let's call him the Kobe Bryant of criminal offense attorneys. And he's trying to hire Kobe for his team. The problem is Nick doesn't have any money. And my understanding is the family doesn't want to give him any money. The family's not too happy with Nick killing their parents. Oh. So Alan Jackson will charge at least $500,000 to $1 million. And Nick is trying to reach his trust fund, which is about $1.5 million. But under the California Slayer statute, you can't access that money if you killed somebody. But Nick's position is, and he has a motion in front of the court. A motion is basically a request. Okay. He's saying, I'm innocent, so I'm entitled to the money. The family's position is, what happens if you're not innocent and you're found guilty? We can't get that money back.
Yo, this is kind of fascinating because there's a presumption of innocence in the legal system. Yes. This kid has, let's assume he's innocent. Let's just give him that presumption. Let's grant him the presumption of innocence, which we all are entitled to. Is that a constitutional right?
Yes, we are all presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Right. So the Constitution empowers that through criminal statutes onto us.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So Nick has that presumption as well. And he is a kid who has a trust fund since he's a son of one of the most famous and incredible directors and actors of all time, Rob Reiner. And he's got, what, $1.5 million sitting in there, or does he have more?
I think he has I think he has two trust accounts. One is a separate one that was established for him. That is a small amount of $1.5 million. And then I think he has another one, which is a part of the bigger trust, but he's trying to access that side $1.5 million trust.
Was he trying to access either?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So
he's trying to just get money in order to make an offer to this wizard criminal defense attorney, yes. Alan Jackson,
yes.
to be like, hey, I'll pay you your retainer, whatever it is, $1 and a half.
It's probably $1 million.
$1 million.
To start, yeah.
Get me out of this predicament.
He's not going to get out of the predicament. What he's really paying the $1 million is to avoid a death penalty, because right now they're going to go after him and they're going to try to kill him. They actually apply for the death penalty. The new indictment has a murder lying in wait charge, which means he was waiting for his parents. The indictment says that he got a knife, that he premeditated it, and he wanted to kill them, so that they're going after the death penalty for him.
Wow. So that's not every murder case that they throw the death penalty at. And
no.
Especially one based sort of with where passions flow high between a son and his parents. You don't often see death penalty thrown at that.
No.
We didn't see it in Menendez.
No. I think with Menendez, it might have been on the table, but death penalty is saved typically for the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Serial killers, Ted Bundy, the Night Stalker, Ramirez, just things like that. Oklahoma City bomber, something like that. But the reason why Nathan Hochman, who was the district attorney in California, filed this, it is a legal posturing so that he could get what he wants, which is life in prison without the possibility of parole. So how it works is like this. I file death penalty charges against you, and now you as the lawyer are going to go up to Reiner and say, listen, Nick, we got problems. Now, it's not a matter of getting you out of here with parole. You're going to get killed if we lose. Why don't we negotiate a non-death penalty offer where you basically live out the rest of your life as comfortable as possible without getting killed? So that's why they filed the death penalty to put pressure so the defense attorneys could turn around and make a counter offer for a non-death penalty offer.
So it's just using the leverage they have in this quote unquote negotiation.
Yes.
Like any negotiation.
That's my opinion.
So the DA wants to posture as maximalist as possible before they get a deal.
That's my belief.
And death penalty is pretty maximal.
Yes.
I mean, that's the most you could try to do to somebody, right?
Yes, but I don't remember the last time somebody was killed. I think it was Tukey Williams, which is the Crips from like 15 years ago when Jamie Foxx visited him at a jail in San Quentin prison. You know, the moratorium has been placed by Governor Newsom for the past, I don't know, like 10 years now.
There's a moratorium on the death penalty.
Yeah, let me just check how long the moratorium is for. Hold on.
So even if Nathan Hochman, the DA, goes after the death penalty and may be blocked by Governor Newsom?
Yes. It's actually blocked by, hold on. So California has maintained an official moratorium on the death penalty since March 13, 2019. All executions have been stayed. So,
But the next governor could presumably lift that.
the state's final execution took place in 2016. I guess if we get a different political governor, sure.
If you're Nick Reiner, what is the actual threat you're effectively facing? If your attorney comes in and says, hey, you're facing death.
Yes.
What does that mean? In how many years? In a decade or two?
No, we're talking about 15, 20 years maybe. It takes a long, long time before they kill you.
Right.
Even
you
sometimes
wait
longer.
You wait on death row all that time.
Oh, I'm going to tell you how long it takes. I'm going to look up a guy named Tukey Williams, who is the founder of the Crips, I believe. Hold on a second. Let me find. So his name is Stanley Williams. He was an American gangster who co-founded the Crips in L.A., okay? He was one of the big generals like Keefe D. Mm-hmm. And
go check out our Keefe D episode.
Tukey Williams was on death row for 24 years.
Wow. And then they
killed him.
They actually executed him?
Which I thought was wrong in my opinion because he was one of the very rare exceptions where I truly believe there was redemption. He wrote books like cartoon books on gang violence and how it's wrong, and he spoke. I really believed wholeheartedly that he did change, but unfortunately his acts were so heinous that the government decided to go ahead and kill him.
Okay, and in this case, it may be legal posturing, it may be the beginning of the negotiation, but the DA is coming at Nick Reiner with the death penalty.
Yep. Yes.
And so what an interesting predicament from a legal standpoint where Nick is like, I want to access this money to defend myself. I'm presumed innocent.
Yes.
But the Slayer statute says if you're guilty, you can't access money. Tell us about the Slayer statute, because we talked about this in the Tupac episode we just did, because the Slayer statute would have prevented Keefe D in the Tupac case from profiting off of movies or films based on the killing of Tupac if he was involved. Here in the Nick Reiner case, it's not about publicity after the fact. It's just a trust fund that he had before the fact.
Right.
How does the Slayer statute apply to that?
Well, the Slayer statute basically says that if a person commits a felony and they kill somebody, they can't receive the inheritance. They're barred from the inheritance of that person.
If they killed that actual person,
Yes.
in this case, Rob Reiner and his wife.
Right. So
Michele Reiner?
Yeah. Let's say your son, let's say you got $1 billion and your son decided, you know what? I don't want to wait for my dad to die. I'm going to just trip him and he's going to fall down the stairs and I'm going to get the money that way.
Not outside the realm of possibility. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They would never do that.
Yeah.
My daughter would do that.
Your daughter might do that, not Serge. But if, let's just say, he kills you, he can't then turn around and get the bank account because that's encouraging people to kill their parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want people killing their parents.
Right.
We don't want people killing family members to get money. So that's why there's a Slayer statute.
Or it's encouraging murders to be done in the most cinematic way possible, in the most scripted and, this is what would make a great Tom Cruise movie. That's what you want to do. So we don't want to incentivize that.
Exactly.
And in this case, it's not about what Nick might publicize after the fact, writing a book. It's just about the trust fund that was set up beforehand.
It was the trust fund set up, but they're saying the law says if you kill somebody that you are going to inherit from, you can't get the money.
Okay, so there's the inheritance aspect to the Slater law.
Now, hypothetically, it's an interesting legal proposition. It's
Yeah,
like,
'cause
wait a
he's-
second, I'm innocent and I could prove it, but I need the money to prove it. So
Yeah.
So it's from a legal standpoint, I find it fascinating. I'm going to find out what the judge is going to say.
Super fascinating. The judge has a tough decision because it's sort of like a what do you call that? It's almost like he's in a catch-22, right?
Yes.
He's like, I need funding to defend myself.
Yes.
I'm innocent, but I can't prove that until I defend myself.
Yes.
But you are presuming that I'm guilty and banning me from the money in order to defend myself. How does a judge get around this? This is fascinating.
Well, they're going to do what's called a balancing test. The balance is basically public policy versus testamentary intent. So balancing the fundamental common law principle that nobody should profit from their own crime against the explicit written wording of the decedent's own will. So the judge is going to balance whether or not what the intent of Rob Reiner was when he left the money. Was it so that, God forbid, one day if something like this did happen, would Rob want him to have that money to defend himself? These are the things that are going to be hashed out.
But is that ever discussed in a will? I mean, should I be killed by any of these people mentioned herein? Then I don't want them to get this money. Like, who says that?
Well, that's why the government took the law into their own hands and they passed these laws because people don't think about it. Are you going to think about this when you do your own will? You're going to say, if my son kills me, then he shouldn't get the money. Nobody is going to put that
I don't think so.
in your will, but the government will. The government
Right.
will step in for you and say, if somebody kills their parents, you're not going to get the money.
So in this case, they're going to try to look at Rob and Michele Reiner's will and testament and try to see what kind of value of intent they can take from that in a balancing act to be like, would they have wanted Nick to get this money to defend himself under the presumption of innocence versus what that might do for the greater good publicly? It might incentivize murders or whatever.
That and a couple of more things. I think the judge will listen to that. And also, as a judge, if I was a judge, I want to hear from the sister and the brother. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to help your brother out? What would your parent think? I want to hear from them. Like, my mom wouldn't want this, or my mom would want this. Number one. Two. Number three, the last thing is, as a judge, you want to then analyze whether there's a distinct possibility that the person is going to be found not guilty, because that's important as a judge. If there's a distinct possibility that the guy's not guilty, I might free the funds. For example, if the lawyer says, by the way, Nick wasn't even in California, he was in Africa at the time on tour. We got the proof, and it was somebody else that looked like Nick. Whatever. I might consider that as a part of releasing the funds. So it's a balancing test.
It seems like the judges are still human at the end of the day. I mean, they're legal scholars. They're trained under the law. Yeah. However, under all of that legal scholarship is a human brain, a human mind, and a human consciousness, and a human conscience. And I think I worked for a federal judge. I don't presume to have any particular insight into judges, other than just clerking for a summer for a judge along with other judicial clerks. But I think they're humans at the end of the day, right, RJ? So that last point you said, I feel like is the one that rings the most true. Like, this judge is going to heavily weigh, I could be wrong, but I think any judge in this case would heavily weigh that last point, which is, do I think this guy actually did it or not? Like, is there a chance he's innocent here? And if I think there's a chance Nick Reiner didn't actually do this murder, I'm going to free up the funds for him to have an adequate defense under the presumption of innocence, right?
That's what I would do.
That's what the judge is going to look at.
I would assess it, and if I saw that the cards on the table, so to speak, in poker cards,
Right.
it looked like there was a
Right.
flush and he had a chance of a
Right.
defense, I'm going to give him that shot.
Okay, so here the judge is going to look at the facts. What do
Yes.
you think the judge is going to determine?
Well,
It looks like he killed.
According to the prosecutor, he was lying and waiting for her to kill his dad, and when the mom came in, he killed her too. So I don't have the copy of the police report, so it's very hard for me to tell you. But if that's what happened, he's not going to get the money.
He's not going to get the money because the judge is going to go, yeah, I get weighing it. I even get the intent of the parents, God rest their souls. But no, I don't believe beyond a shadow of doubt that there's a possibility that he's going to be able to adequately defend himself.
Well, it's beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
And the second thing is that the defense, if I was his defense attorney, or Alan Jackson, who's a wizard, is going to say, no, you guys aren't applying this right. The application is whether I have any defense, not whether he killed him or not, because maybe he killed the parents, but maybe he killed him because of mental health deficiencies, which would absolve him of the crime. Therefore, Alan Jackson...
Absolve or
it could absolve him if it's temporary insanity. It could completely absolve him. It could be...
So an actual defense.
An actual defense to the crime. So if, for example, if Nick Reiner has schizophrenia, which I think he's alleging he has, which you can't use drugs when you're on schizophrenia, so that's going to be a problem. But let's just say it's a pure schizophrenic attack, which I doubt. I've never heard of a schizophrenic person killing somebody that radically in that manner, but who knows? Maybe it was. Then maybe he could offer a defense. Like, it wasn't Nick. It was Nick, Schizo Nick, the crazy Nick. And we have a right to show the court that this guy needs a hospital and he should be in a hospital and not go to prison. So that would be the argument. As a defense attorney, I'm not looking to have him go home right away. I'm trying to save him by him going to a hospital. Saving doesn't mean not guilty. Mm-hmm. As a lawyer, saving means a drastic reduction in prison time or accommodating the defendant, like putting him in a hospital or some other way other than jail.
Okay, so then my brain goes to, what does the Slayer statute say about mental insanity during a murder? Like, if you killed them, but you had mental insufficiency, what is this? Does the Slayer statute?
No, it doesn't. But this is a case on point. It's a seminal case, in my opinion, in the sense that it's the first time the courts are looking at this very carefully in a Nick Reiner situation as far as whether to give him the money. And there's a legal major battleground going on as far as whether a beneficiary is accused but not yet convicted of murder and then requests in the interim distribution of trust funds to pay for their criminal defense lawyers. So this is the precise issue that Nick Reiner is going through right now regarding his trust fund. Right. It's a novel issue.
That's an amazing issue and legally interesting. And then when you stack on top of that the potential absolute defense of insanity, which they may or may not plead here, then that makes it even more complicated whether he should get the money or not.
And at the catch-22 is they won't know whether or not he has insanity unless they hire very expensive forensic psychiatrists that'll tell him that he went crazy. But so they need the money.
But what if he just didn't even plead that? Then it's not even an issue.
But it's still going to be investigated. As a criminal defense attorney, I would totally have him analyzed by a psychiatrist to tell me what the hell's wrong with him.
Got it.
I mean, he killed his parents with a knife. What the hell?
Right.
I would ask, like, what the hell's wrong with Nick Reiner? Why would he kill Rob Reiner, the most gentlest, nicest man in the world? There's got to be a disconnect. I want to know what that disconnect is.
100%. I mean, I think seems like there's some mental instability here. I mean, it's a son killing mom and dad.
But it's a mental instability based on what? Based on his own actions? Did he do drugs that cause that? Because that would not be a defense.
Right.
That's the question.
Right.
If he did crack cocaine and he happens to be schizophrenic, I'm sorry, my friend, you're toast.
But if there's psychological records showing a history of schizophrenia, legitimate schizophrenia that he was getting treatment for, we don't know yet.
We don't know.
Even if he missed his meds, maybe the schizophrenia takes over. That could be an absolute defense.
It could be a defense, but he's not going home, people. He's going to be going to the hospital. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be going home because he's still a danger to society. Just because you're found not guilty by reason of insanity doesn't mean you go home.
Right.
Not guilty by reason of insanity could mean that you go to a hospital. I had a case years ago, 25 years ago, when I first became a lawyer, where my client shot and killed a prostitute because he thought that she insulted him, and he was just schizophrenic. He had something wrong with him. We pled not guilty by reason of insanity. He was in a hospital for 25 years, and then we had what's called a restoration to sanity hearing, because you could go from insane to sane. I don't know if you know that.
No, I don't.
Your sanity could be restored.
Okay.
And once it's restored, you could have a hearing on that. And if the judge decides that you are not a threat, you could go home. Wow. That's when you go home for not guilty by reason of insanity. It's not like right away where you're like, not guilty by reason of insanity, and you say, okay,
later,
bye, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't work that way. You don't say goodbye and then take off. It's basically, okay, stay there, Tony. Now we're going to have a hearing on what we do with you. Do you go to a hospital? Is it inpatient? Is it outpatient? Do you go to Patton State Prison? I mean, those are the questions that you're going to be answering.
Okay. So status currently is the judge is trying to decide whether Nick gets access to that
right
money.
Now, yes.
And then if Nick gets the money, he can hire the great lawyer. Until he gets the money, who's representing him?
Public defender.
which could be still stand up, perfect.
Of course. I mean,
representation.
Absolutely. Public defenders are fantastic lawyers. The reason why people hire private lawyers is because public defenders are overwhelmed. They have a lot of cases and they want to hire a private lawyer like myself because I don't have a lot of cases on my plate. I focus like this, like laser sharp on your case. Public defenders' cases are stacked up like this.
What's your gut on whether he's going to get the money or not?
I have no idea.
Really? It's that novel of a legal issue.
That novel of an issue.
Wow. It's fascinating. Because again, the presumption of innocence versus the Slayer statute.
I would probably say as a judge, if I was a judge, I want a hearing on it and I want to hear the report from the doctor, and I want the doctor to explain to me his thoughts. If he says, this guy's got a legitimate defense, he was going through a schizophrenic episode, then I might release the funds. I might, because I'm hearing a defense. But if there's no defense going on, why am I releasing the funds?
Right.
You got to give me a hint. Like as a judge, tell me like, okay, I want to give you the money, but tell me like a small reason why I should give you the funds. Oh, because you were crazy and you could prove it? Okay, here you go. But if you're not telling me why, I'm not going to give you the money.
Well, I mean, it is the Slayer statute, and you can't be a Slayer without a conviction.
Right.
So just go back to basics.
And you
presumption of innocence.
And you're not a Slayer if there was... if you didn't do it willfully. It has to be done willfully. So let me give you another example. If Nick Reiner's drink was spiked with PCP by his friend.
Conan O'Brien. Just kidding.
Is that what happened to Conan O'Brien?
No.
Oh, you mean Conan O'Brien?
He was at Conan O'Brien's party.
I was like, okay, let's say Conan.
Shots fired.
All right, let's say Conan O'Brien.
If anybody spiked his drink, it would
let's say Conan O'Brien spiked his drink.
Exactly.
Okay, and then he killed him. Yeah, that would be a defense.
Right.
Absolute defense.
Right.
So it depends on why he did what he did. That's got to be established. The why, not the what. We know we killed him.
Right.
We know the how. We know the when. We know the where. We just don't know the why. If the why is explained, he went crazy because it's Conan O'Brien's fault. He put something in his drink. He's not going to go to jail. He's not going to go to jail.
Right.
At all. In fact, he'll be released because it wasn't his fault. But now that's not the case. The case is he did it volitionally. There's no outside interference. There's no third-party interference. The question becomes what's inside his mens rea, his guilty mind. Did he want to kill his dad? And if he did want to kill his dad, was it because he was upset? Or was it the voices in his head telling him that Martians are going to come and kill him if he doesn't kill his dad? That's what I want to know. Let me tell you a quick story about schizophrenia, by the way. Really quick. I had a case, very hard case, where my client was accused of a long chase, a 30-minute chase by the police.
Car chase.
She's a very nice, elderly African-American lady. If you saw her, you think she's like teaching in high school or church. Really nice. I asked her, why didn't you stop? She said, I thought they were Martians coming to get me. They were flying in the air. They were attacking me. She had schizophrenia. I got her case dismissed. All her charges got dropped. Every single charge. And she had a $30,000 bill for all the helicopters that came, followed her. They didn't stop. They threw something on the floor. It was a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know why she did that? Because she wasn't taking her schizophrenic medications because they were affecting her. They were making her feel bad, which is very normal. A lot of schizophrenic people get off medication. So if Nick Reiner came off his medication also, that could be a problem too. Because he can't say, oh, I killed him because I was off my meds, because it's your responsibility to be on the meds. But in my case, nobody was killed, so I was able to get the charges dismissed. But
it's so interesting because it is your responsibility to be on the meds.
Yes.
But if you make that, if you make that terrible decision to not get on the meds, then the disease takes over your mind.
Yes.
And then you kill your parents. You didn't really intend to kill your parents.
Right.
You intended to not take your meds.
Yes.
So it's hard to link that to first-degree murder and lying. And
you would be responsible for the death of your parents in that situation.
Yes.
It wouldn't be first degree or second degree. Right. It may be manslaughter or something less,
like negligent manslaughter,
negligent homicide,
or reckless.
Yep. Because you're responsible for taking the medication. You can't.
You breached a duty.
You breached your duty.
Yes. It's just not first-degree murder.
Right. And that happens, by the way, with schizophrenic people. If you go downtown Los Angeles, you'll see schizos walking around, throwing things, losing their mind, talking to themselves. It's their fault. They're not taking the medication. And I asked them, some of my clients are schizophrenic people, and they say, I get headaches, I vomit, I don't like it. You tried, RJ. You have no idea how bad it is. And I tell them, I get it, but if you don't do this and you get in trouble, you're going to go to jail.
But the flip side of this case, the mens rea, the mental element for Nick Reiner is that he wasn't schizophrenic, or he was not, he was medicated and his brain was working within normal bounds.
Yeah.
And he yet planned the death of mom and dad.
Supposedly.
And he waited. So he kind of stalked and like sat there and waited with a weapon. Was it a knife?
A knife.
Was it a household knife?
I don't know, but it was a knife.
So he waited with the murder weapon,
Right.
in the dark at night while they came home from that party?
Lying in wait literally means you're just waiting for your parents to come and kill them. That's what the prosecution's saying that Nick Reiner did.
And I think the idea being you're waiting and time is going
Right.
by, and every second that goes by is an opportunity for you not to do this.
Right.
Every moment you have the chance to be like, no, I'm going to walk away. But yet you withstand, you withhold, you continue on the prowl until they show up. And then you effectively, having had all of that contemplation, all of that time to think, to premeditate, you actually go through with it. And that's maybe the worst type of murder we have on the books.
Nick Reiner actually described himself as an animal when he does drugs, and he goes through a schizophrenic episode. So it's not completely inconceivable to think that he was going through an episode and is really pissed off and is thinking in his mind, I'm going to kill my parents. I'm going to fucking kill them today. I'm just pissed. I'm going to kill him. That's not inconceivable.
No, but that you just said is a schizophrenic rage. That's a schizophrenic
Yes.
rage, so that would be mitigated. That would
Absolutely mitigated.
But the flip side, where he's first degree death penalty, that's unmitigated, premeditated.
yes.
Clear thinking.
Yeah, I don't, again, I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
I don't think it was premeditated first degree. Excuse my language. I heard Nick Reiner's a dick in real life. He's just an asshole. He's got an asshole personality. Okay. Now add asshole personality combined with schizophrenia and combined with entitlement issues, which is what Nick Reiner had. Okay.
Yeah, I can
And it's
see
very
that.
possible that one day when he has an episode, all these things just percolate in his mind and he just lost it.
Or what if
He's a jerk kid with schizophrenia that's spoiled? It's just that simple.
But what if mom and dad, this is completely hypothetical.
Yeah.
What if dad, after getting mad at him at the party at Conan O'Brien's house, because he was apparently misbehaving in a big way, he was putting a lot of other guests off, and
He was just asking people, "Are you famous?" That's what he's saying, going around saying weird things.
but he was annoying people, whatever
Annoying a
he
lot
was
of people,
doing.
yeah.
Maybe what if hypothetically Rob Reiner said to him, "Hey, you're cut off, no money for you." And that threw him into a rage. He became enraged, felt helpless,
Sure.
and thought, "Who are you to take this away from me my whole life?" And then killed him in a rage.
That's still murder.
That's not schizophrenia anymore.
No.
That's just anger.
Yes.
So that now we're elevating to first degree. We're
Right.
getting into that more.
I think that's what the prosecutor is alleging, that it's not schizophrenia. This was lying in wait, which is first degree premeditated murder. I just don't know why. I don't know what happened.
we don't know what
Well,
happened.
we're going to find out. Was it because of Conan O'Brien, the party that he got pissed? Or was it something that happened before? Who knows? I mean, this guy was a dick. I'm sorry. Nick Reiner's just a jerk.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.